Surah Araf, verse 17. It is stated that Shaitan tells Allah about mankind, then I will come upon them from the front and from the rear and from the right and from the left, and you will not find most of them thankful. And then in Surah Ibrahim, verse 34, Allah says here, and He has granted you all that you asked Him for. If you try to count Allah's blessings, you would never be able to number them. Indeed, humankind is truly unjust or unfair, totally ungrateful, ungrateful disbelievers, meaning. So Allah says more of the negative about mankind than Shaitan says in Surah 7 verse 17, as I had earlier before reading out 37 read out. So it shows that both of them agree upon one thing, that humankind are ungrateful. And then he warns humans against Shaitan and what he did to their parents by stripping them naked. Surah Araf, verse 27. So now coming back to Surah Ibrahim, verse 34, and He has granted you all that you asked Him for. If you try to count Allah's blessings, you would never be able to number them. So since He has granted you all that you asked Him for, He could have granted humankind the feeling of gratitude, always being grateful, leaving all the other blessings behind, because He says that since He has granted you all, they are unjust, unfair, and totally ungrateful. Who wants to be totally ungrateful and unjust? Isn't it better that Allah should have given us the one thing that would not make us zalim and totally ungrateful, majority or all, generally humankind, the feeling of gratitude, so that we would never ever become hypocrites or ungrateful. In another verse it says that there is the fear. This is why, the tafsir says there was this fear of human, even believers becoming hypocrites. That's why this verse. And I've also read Jiddu Krishnamurti and the conflict in men, and how we can resolve this conflict in men. The solution to this, Jiddu Krishnamurti gives very consistently and honorably. So this verse from Allah, coming from Allah in Surah Ibrahim, 34th verse, is very unjust to human beings. As through the other way, you can see that human beings were not the first one to disobey Allah. It was Iblis. And look at this verse, Surah Taha, verse 115. And indeed we once made a covenant with Adam, but he forgot. And so we did not find determination in him. This is Dr. Mustafa. And Sahih International says determination also, footnote, to resist temptation. So now, whose fault is it? Is it Adam's fault that he had in himself no determination? Allah should have given him the determination to resist temptation. So it's not Adam's fault that he forgot and had no determination. So this is really unfair of Allah to blame Adam for not being able to resist temptation of Satan and having to forget what he was told by Allah. And then again back to Surah Abraham, verse 34, the same thing. Allah blames Allah blames humankind for being ungrateful, unjust, unfair, however you may put it. And as I said before, it's not right, it's not just. This is not a true Allah. He's Shaitan in disguise as Allah. made by Prophet Muhammad. Please have a look at this, otherwise you'll be caught up in shame and guilt for the rest of your life and struggle in the cause of Allah against your own nafs, and that would be that you would become a zalim yourself. Meaning, becoming zalim yourself is that you would be applying strict methods against your soul, which you don't need to do if there's another way. And you can find another way, better way than to apply strict, violent methods against your souls, to tame it or discipline it. So back to this verse again, Surah Ibrahim, verse 34. God, Allah should not have given us everything which He is able to, that it says that He has given you everything, and yet man is unjust, ungrateful, disbeliever. He doesn't have to give us everything, except that He should have given us the gratitude inside. That would have been everything for mankind. Instead of falling prey to disbelief, injustice, or ungratefulness. So this, now I leave you with this, and we'll be coming back to explain this further, if I have to, in my first channel, Zahra Berserk, Ex-Shia, Truth Seeker. Okay, so in detail, if I have to again and again explain to you this, I will come back, and I leave you to contemplate on Surah Abraham verses and what I said.